Welcome to my channel. If you are new, thank you for joining, and if you're returning, thank you for returning. In today's video, we are going to take it outside and I am going to harvest some garlic today. A lot of my garlic is kind of flopping over and is turning brown on certain spots. If you have been following any part of my journey in my garden, you might know and may have seen that I did an experiment with my garlic. In our zone, you're supposed to plant garlic in October, usually by October 1st, which I did. I planted garlic. And then when I looked at it and counted, I knew that was not going to be enough garlic for us to sustain us for many months, hopefully, through to until the following year. So I went ahead and in January of this year, we had some especially warm weather for a few weeks, and I figured that was enough time to get the garlic rooted. And so I planted those garlic along here and a couple in here, and on the other side. Everything's so grown up now, isn't it beautiful? But I will link that video up above of me talking about me planting the garlic in an experimental way, just to see how it does. Oh, look at my tomatillas. I don't know if you can see, they are huge. I have 2 tomatilla plants growing. Anyways, I will link all of the garden videos and tours if you would like to see that down in the description box below. And I talked to you about all the things that I had planted in here. Oh, it's just doing so good. Look at all my tomatoes. They are doing wonderful. I'm always so excited coming out here every day just to see what's new. Oh, that one looks like got some blossom rot, but this was the one that had like multiple flowers. And I could have popped it off, but I went ahead and let it go, I believe. Anyways, there's a bunch of dill. I am going to keep my garlic separated in 2 different boxes as I'm harvesting them. One is going to be the garlic that I planted in by October 1st of last year. And then the other box is going to contain the garlic that I planted the beginning of this year. So let's see if my experiment worked or if I just need to stick to planting when I should plant. Okay, so this is part of the soft neck. I'm just going to try to pull. Oh. That's a pretty good size. Oh yeah. So I'm going to continue doing that until I get all of this garlic harvested in this area. Okay, so I wanted to show you on these garlics. These are the soft necks. And, everything I, read and learned about is whenever actually they talk about the bottom 2 leaves start turning brown, like this one, and then like this one's already starting, that it's time to harvest. So that's a pretty good size garlic. I'll have to get the tape measure out and measure to see how big some of these bulbs are. Some of them are pretty decent size. There were a couple that were smaller, but that's okay. They will get used. Now, this is the first year I've ever planted the hardneck. They're flopping over also, and they have a couple of these bottom leaves that are turning brown. And I don't know, I think the ones that are turning really brown, I'm going to go ahead and just pull them. But there's like, I don't know, one or two, there's maybe a couple of them in here that haven't turned completely brown yet. I might go ahead and leave those in the ground, but yeah, I just had never grown the hardneck variety before, and I thought I'd give it a try. They were gifted to me to plant last year. My cousin's husband gave me a big bulb of garlic for me to plant, so which I was very thankful for. But anyways, so we'll go ahead and finish getting these harvested. I am still on the October 1st planting, like end of September, beginning of October planting. So, and there's quite a few in here. I'm super excited. Oh, and I will be braiding these garlic. I braided last year, and I watched a couple YouTube videos, and it may not have been perfect, but they looked really pretty. So I might do that in a future video as well. Show you how I do the braiding of the garlic. Okay, so I finished harvesting, for the most part, all the garlic here. Now, I probably need to double check to see if that really was in fact what I was given last year, the hardneck variety, because where I planted them, the hardneck that I thought was hardneck was back here, but they don't feel very hard, like at the neck area. Usually the hardneck means it's not pliable, it won't bend, like you can't do the braiding with the hardneck variety. So I'll have to double check and ask. But anyways, now everything else I'm going to harvest is going to be the garlic that I planted in January. So I will get those harvested, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison to see if my experiment worked or if I need to stick with the plan and just wait until the October time, like end of September, beginning of October time to plant. So this was the box that I planted around the beginning of October, and this is the box that I planted in January. Now, there were a few small ones. I'm going to have to lay them all out to actually compare, but there's some really good sized ones in there as well, which is pretty comparable. I mean, if you look at the one on the left is the one I planted around October, and then the one on the right is one I planted in January. But granted, here's one also from January, and there's a little bulb growing right there. It tried to grow another bulb right there. There were a couple of them I saw like that. So we'll try to get these laid out to see if we could do a better comparison. But I don't think my experiment was bad. I think it was good, and I think it was definitely the right call, because we use a lot of garlic, and even though we don't preserve food for a year at a time, there are some things like garlic I wouldn't mind having a year's supply. And garlic is so super easy to grow, but it is incredibly easy to grow. So even if you grow nothing else and you love garlic, definitely give it a try. Make sure you check out your zone. I'm in zone 6B, and make sure you know when your planting time period is supposed to be. Now, the reason why you plant in the fall is because you want to give it enough time to gain root, and it will start to grow. Like, you'll start to see green growing out of it. And then when winter hits, that's the most important part. If you want bigger bulbs with all these cloves in it, the cold is what causes that. So they do have to get cold in order to have nice size bulbs and nice size cloves. Anywho, so let me see if I can get this laid out, but I'm very happy with this, and I will still plant in October, but if in the event, like happened last year, if in the event I take a look at my inventory, so to speak, of what I planted and it doesn't look like it's enough, I'm not going to hesitate to plant it later on, as long as there's a couple of nice weeks, like warmer weeks in the wintertime, that will give the opportunity of that clove to root. I hope you gained value from this video, and if so, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing so you can continue following me on my garden journey. Until next time, thank you for watching.